Welcome back to Ageless Anecdotes, where the tales of yore come alive. Today, we journey to ancient Greece, to the echoing halls of divine legends and human tragedies. Among these tales stands the poignant saga of Medusa, a beacon of beauty whose fate was forever changed by passion and divine retribution. From a revered temple maiden to the infamous Gorgon, whose gaze spelled doom, join us as we unravel the layers of her tale. Originally a radiant maiden celebrated for her unparalleled beauty, Medusa was particularly noted for her lustrous golden hair, which captivated all who beheld her. However, beyond her physical attributes, she was deeply spiritual, dedicating herself as a priestess to Athena, the virgin goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare. This sacred position demanded a life of piety, chastity, and unwavering devotion. But Medusa's fate took a dark turn. Her life became a poignant tale of love, betrayal, and transformation. An encounter with Poseidon, the powerful god of the sea, within the sacred walls of Athena's temple, led to her tragic metamorphosis. As punishment for this sacrilege, Athena transformed Medusa's celebrated locks into a writhing mass of venomous snakes. Her once admiring gaze became a curse. Anyone who dared meet her eyes would be instantly turned to stone. Birth and family. Medusa's lineage traces back to some of the most primordial and enigmatic figures in Greek mythology. To truly understand her story, it's essential to delve deep into her family roots, which are intertwined with the very fabric of the ancient world's creation myths. Medusa was born to Phorcys and Ceto, both ancient sea deities. They weren't just any gods, they were among the earliest generations of divine beings, often associated with the hidden depths and mysteries of the ocean. Phorcys, often depicted as an old man with crab-like features or sometimes as a merman, was the god of the hidden dangers of the deep. His domain wasn't the sunlit waters sailors navigated, but the murky depths, home to creatures that ancient mariners could scarcely imagine. Ceto, on the other hand, was a primordial sea goddess, often depicted as a serpentine or fish-tailed creature. Her name in ancient Greek is related to the term for sea monsters. Ceto embodied the vastness and unpredictability of the ocean, the vast expanse that even seasoned sailors feared. Medusa wasn't an only child. She was one of three sisters, known collectively as the Gorgons. Her siblings, Steno and Uriel, were both immortal, setting them apart from Medusa in a crucial way. While all three sisters shared the distinctive Gorgon features, most notably the snake-infused hair after Medusa's curse, the reasons for Medusa's mortality remain a matter of debate among scholars. Some suggest it was a divine anomaly, while others believe it was a preordained fate, ensuring her eventual clash with the hero Perseus. Steno, the eldest, was known for her ferocity. Legends say she was the most murderous of the trio, having killed more men than both her sisters combined. Her strength was unmatched, making her a formidable force. Uriel, the middle sister, was known for her piercing scream. While not as aggressive as Steno, her cry could disorient and paralyze even the bravest of warriors, making her equally dangerous in her own right. The lineage doesn't stop with Medusa's immediate family. Phorcys and Ceto had other offspring, many of whom were equally as monstrous and fascinating as the Gorgons. These included the dragon Ladon, who guarded the golden apples of the Hesperides, and the Graeae, three ancient sisters who shared a single eye and tooth among them. Furthermore, if one were to delve even deeper into the family tree, they'd find connections to Gaia, the primordial earth goddess, and Pontus, the ancient god of the deep sea. This connection to the primordial deities underscores the Gorgons' ancient and formidable lineage. In conclusion, Medusa's family background paints a vivid picture of her place in the world of Greek mythology. Born from ancient and mysterious deities and connected to creatures of great power and terror, Medusa's story is as much a product of her lineage as it is of her individual choices and the whims of the gods she encountered. Early life. Medusa's narrative, prior to her transformation into a Gorgon, is a tale that contrasts sharply with her later years. It's a story brimming with youthful promise, devotion, and an allure that transcended the mere physical. Growing up as the youngest of the three Gorgon sisters, Medusa's childhood was likely filled with the wonders and mysteries of the ocean, given her parents' dominion over the deep seas. She might have listened to the ancient lullabies of the waves, felt the caress of salt-laden breezes, and played amidst the shimmering corals and marine life of the vast underwater kingdoms. But unlike her immortal sisters, Medusa's mortality made her unique. This distinction, some legends suggest, might have led her to seek a purpose beyond the watery realms of her family. Her heart, it seems, was drawn to the world of men and gods, and the bustling cities of ancient Greece. As Medusa transitioned from childhood to maidenhood, her beauty became legendary. It wasn't just her golden hair, which cascaded down like a river of sunlight, but also her grace, her poise, and the gentle kindness in her eyes. She had a charm that was both ethereal and grounded, making her stand out even among the most beautiful maidens of the age. Her beauty was such that she didn't just capture the hearts of mortal men, she was noticed by gods and goddesses too. Whispers of her allure traveled through the grapevines of Olympus, making her the subject of many a divine conversation. However, Medusa was not just a passive beauty. Her soul yearned for purpose and depth. Drawn to Athena, the goddess of wisdom, courage, and inspiration, Medusa decided to dedicate her life to her service. This was no light decision. Becoming a priestess of Athena required immense commitment. Athena's temples were centers of learning and culture. As a priestess, Medusa would have been trained in rituals, sacred songs, and perhaps even in the art of strategy and war, domains Athena was patron of. But beyond the intellectual pursuits, there was a spiritual bond. Medusa's devotion to Athena meant a life of chastity and purity, as the goddess herself was a virgin deity. Medusa's role was pivotal in the temple. She would lead ceremonies, offer prayers, and become a beacon of faith for her community. Her beauty, combined with her position, made her an icon, a living representation of the harmonious blend of physical allure and spiritual depth. Yet, as destiny would have it, this phase of reverence and peace in Medusa's life was not to last. Her very devotion and the sanctity of the temple would soon become the grounds for a series of events that would change her life irrevocably. Encounter with Poseidon. The encounter between Medusa and Poseidon is not merely a fleeting episode in Greek mythology. It stands as a pivotal moment that forever altered the trajectory of Medusa's life. This intersection of destinies between a devoted priestess and a powerful god brims with complexities, underlying motives, and the intricate interplay of divine politics. To understand the magnitude of this encounter, one must first appreciate the stature and temperament of Poseidon. As one of the 12 Olympian deities, Poseidon held dominion over the oceans, seas, and earthquakes. Often depicted with his trident, he was a figure of immense power and was both revered and feared. His moods were as tumultuous as the seas he ruled, capable of being calm and benevolent at times, but stormy and vengeful at others. The sacred temple of Athena, where Medusa served, was a space of reverence, purity, and spiritual sanctity. Every stone, every altar, and every corner of this temple was dedicated to the virgin goddess of wisdom. It was within these hallowed walls that the fateful encounter between Medusa and Poseidon took place, an act that was not just taboo, but a grave sacrilege. The reasons behind Poseidon's interest in Medusa are varied and debated among scholars. Some argue it was a genuine infatuation, captivated by her beauty and grace. Others suggest it was a strategic move, a way to undermine Athena, with whom Poseidon had long-standing rivalries, especially concerning patronage over certain cities like Athens. Regardless of the motive, the meeting was clandestine. Whether it was a seduction or a more forceful encounter, is a matter of different interpretations across various texts. What remains consistent is that their union occurred within Athena's temple, which intensified the severity of the transgression. While Poseidon was an Olympian and beyond direct retribution from another god or goddess, Medusa, being mortal, was vulnerable. From Athena's perspective, the desecration of her temple was a dual affront. Not only was her sacred space violated, but one of her most devoted priestesses was at the center of it. The act became a reflection of the complex web of emotions, ranging from betrayal and anger to the need for retribution. This encounter set in motion a series of events that led to Medusa's tragic transformation. But beyond the immediate consequences for Medusa, the incident also highlighted the intricate dynamics of divine politics. It showcased the vulnerability of mortals, caught in the crossfire of godly disputes, and the often disproportionate consequences they faced. Transformation and curse. Medusa's transformation from a revered maiden to a feared Gorgon stands as one of the most poignant and tragic metamorphoses in Greek mythology. Her curse wasn't just a change in physical appearance, it was a profound alteration of her essence, her fate, and her place in the world, deeply rooted in the complex interplay of divine egos, retribution, and the fragile existence of mortals amidst godly machinations. The desecration of Athena's temple through Medusa's encounter with Poseidon was an act of profound sacrilege. Temples were not merely buildings, they were the earthly abodes of gods and goddesses, spaces of divine energy, and conduits between the mortal and celestial realms. For Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare, her temple's sanctity was paramount. When confronted with the act that had taken place within her temple's sacred walls, Athena's response was swift. However, instead of directing her ire at Poseidon, a fellow Olympian beyond her direct retribution, it was Medusa, the mortal, who bore the brunt of her wrath. The nature of the curse Athena placed on Medusa was both symbolic and severe. Medusa's lustrous golden locks, which had once been the subject of admiration and perhaps envy, turned into writhing, hissing snakes. Each snake, with its cold gaze and venomous bite, became a manifestation of the shame, pain, and anger thrust upon her. But the transformation didn't end there. Medusa's once warm and inviting eyes, which had reflected her inner beauty and compassion, were now cursed with a petrifying power. Anyone who dared to look directly into her gaze would be turned instantly to stone, effectively rendering her isolated from any human connection. Medusa's transformation was laden with symbolism. The snakes, often associated with rebirth and transformation, but also with deceit and danger, represented the dual nature of her new existence, powerful yet ostracized. The petrifying gaze could be seen as a manifestation of her pain, a protective mechanism ensuring no one could harm or approach her again. Post-transformation, Medusa's existence became one of exile and solitude. No longer the revered priestess, she became a pariah, hunted and feared. Her very presence became a threat, and her once celebrated beauty became a tool of destruction. This dramatic shift in her life narrative underscores the capriciousness of divine beings and the precariousness of mortal existence in the face of their whims. Athena's decision to curse Medusa has been the subject of debate and reflection for millennia. Was it a justified act of retribution for the desecration of her temple, or was it an unjust punishment meted out to a victim of circumstance? The transformation serves as a stark reminder of the power dynamics in play, where mortals often faced disproportionate consequences for events beyond their control. Exile and life as a Gorgon. The transformation of Medusa from a revered maiden to a Gorgon is a testament to the whims of divine retribution. In her new form, her existence became a stark contrast to her earlier life of reverence and piety. Exiled and branded a monster, Medusa's life as a Gorgon is a tale of resilience, isolation, and an unyielding bond with her two immortal sisters. The seismic shift in Medusa's reality was felt instantly. With a gaze that could petrify anyone into stone, she became an inadvertent harbinger of doom. The sacred temple, her once cherished sanctuary, and the city around it became inaccessible. Given the peril her mere presence posed, she was compelled to seek refuge far from civilization, distancing herself from those she once loved and those who might now wish her harm. Drawn to the remote fringes of the world, Medusa found a semblance of peace on distant islands, far from the prying eyes of men. It was here, amidst rocky terrains and the ceaseless embrace of the sea, that she was reunited with her Gorgon sisters, Stheno and Uriel. While all three sisters shared the fearsome visage of Gorgons, there was a crucial distinction. Unlike Medusa, both Stheno and Uriel were immortal. More importantly, they did not share the curse of a petrifying gaze. This disparity often raises the question, why were they immune to Medusa's gaze? The answer lies in the nature of the curse itself. Athena's wrath was directed solely at Medusa, and the curse was tailored to her alone. Medusa's sisters, while sharing in her monstrous appearance due to their inherent Gorgon nature, were not burdened with the same tragic fate. Their presence provided Medusa with rare companionship, ensuring she wasn't entirely isolated in her cursed existence. As the years turned into decades and even centuries, whispers of the Gorgon's existence spread like wildfire. Tales of a fearsome creature with serpentine hair and a deadly gaze echoed in hushed tones across Greece. Some tales painted her as a beast, a challenge for brave warriors. Others, more reflective in nature, hinted at the tragic tale beneath the monstrous facade, evoking a mix of fear, respect, and sympathy. The Quest of Perseus. The narrative of Medusa, fraught with tragedy and transformation, finds its climax in her fateful encounter with Perseus, one of Greek mythology's famed heroes. The tale of Perseus's quest to slay Medusa is not merely an adventure. It's an intricate dance of fate, ambition, divine intervention, and the ceaseless struggle between man and myth. The quest's roots trace back to a prophecy. King Acrisius of Argos received a foreboding oracle that he would meet his end at the hands of his own grandson. In an attempt to thwart this fate, he imprisoned his daughter, Danae, ensuring no man could reach her. However, the gods are not so easily circumvented. Zeus, taking a shine to the imprisoned maiden, visited her in the form of golden rain, and from their union, Perseus was born. Fearing the prophecy, Acrisius cast Danae and young Perseus adrift at sea in a wooden chest. The two were rescued by Dictys, a fisherman from the island of Seriphos, and it was here that Perseus grew to manhood. As Perseus matured, he caught the ire of King Polydectes, ruler of Seriphos, who harbored designs on Danae. Wanting Perseus out of the way, Polydectes devised a devious plan. Under the pretense of marrying another, he held a grand feast, demanding a gift of horses from every guest. Unable to fulfill this request, Perseus rashly promised the king anything he desired. Seizing the opportunity, Polydectes demanded the head of Medusa, knowing full well the peril of such a task. Perseus's quest would have been impossible without divine intervention. Being the son of Zeus had its advantages. Athena, perhaps seeing an opportunity to rid the world of the Gorgon she had cursed, offered guidance. She presented Perseus with her polished shield, which could be used as a mirror to avoid looking directly at Medusa. Hermes, the messenger god, provided winged sandals for swift movement and a curved adamantine sword capable of cutting through Medusa's scales. Furthermore, Perseus was guided to the Graeae, the ancient sisters who shared a single eye and tooth. By stealing their eye, he coerced them into revealing the location of the Hesperides, nymphs who guarded items essential for his quest: the Helm of Darkness, which was a cap of invisibility, and a magical kibisis, which was a satchel to safely contain Medusa's severed head. Equipped with divine tools and blessings, Perseus journeyed to the Gorgon's lair. Using Athena's shield to navigate, he observed Medusa's reflection, safeguarding himself from her petrifying gaze. As she lay asleep, in a swift, decisive move, Perseus beheaded her. From Medusa's severed neck sprang the winged horse, Pegasus, and the golden giant, Chrysaor, results of her earlier union with Poseidon. With Medusa's head in his kibisis, Perseus made his escape, evading Medusa's vengeful sisters using the Helm of Darkness. The head retained its petrifying power, becoming a formidable weapon and later a protective talisman. The culmination of Perseus's quest marked the end of Medusa's tragic tale, but began a new chapter in the annals of Greek heroes. Medusa's severed head played a pivotal role in Perseus's future endeavors, most notably in saving Andromeda from a sea monster, and in an ironic twist of fate, bringing about the prophesied death of King Acrisius. Medusa's offspring, the legacy of Poseidon's union. Before her transformation into a Gorgon, Medusa had a fateful encounter with Poseidon, the mighty god of the seas, within the sacred bounds of Athena's temple. This was not just a tragic violation, it marked the conception of her children. While the tales often focus on Medusa's curse and her life in exile, it's crucial to remember that she bore within her the offspring of a deity. This fact is a testament to Medusa's once celebrated beauty and the series of tragic events that forever altered her destiny. Her children born from this union with Poseidon are Pegasus, the magnificent winged horse, and Chrysaor, often depicted as a golden giant or a winged boar. Their stories are as intricate and fascinating as their mothers. Thank you for joining us on this intriguing journey into the mythological world of Medusa. Her story is one of tragedy, transformation, and resilience, and it's far from over. In our next video, we will delve deeper into the captivating tales of Medusa's children, Pegasus and Chrysaor. Their adventures are as captivating as their mothers, and you won't want to miss out on their incredible stories. To stay updated and ensure you don't miss this exciting chapter in Greek mythology, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Ageless Anecdotes. Click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we release the next video. Thank you for being a part of our Ageless Anecdotes community, and we look forward to sharing more captivating stories with you in the future. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating world of myths and legends.